Would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
And can you tell us if the president has talked to his son since these charges came down yesterday?
Yeah, there's nothing new here. As I've been asked that question many times, I'm not going to get into private conversations that the president has with his family. I'm just not going to speak to it.
Will those conversations, though, have to change given the heightened scrutiny of these charges?
I'm just not going to get into private conversations that the president has with his family.
You've seen all the public polling, people concerned about age. How does the president plan to convince the American people over the next year that 80 is not too old for someone who's running for re-election?
80 is the new 40. Didn't you hear? Look, it is. Let's. I get asked this question about once a week, maybe twice a week. I don't know. I've lost track. This is a president, if you think about it. In 2019, he got the same criticism. In 2020, he got the same criticism. In 2022, he got the same criticism. And every time, he beats the naysayers. Every time he does above and beyond and makes history in doing that, that others are not able to do. 80 million votes. 80 million votes, more than any other ticket in history. And they did that in 2020. And so, I get the question on age. Certainly, we all do.
And all that, everything you just listed, why do you think so many Americans still say they have concerns about someone in their 80s being president?
I can't speak to every American out there and their concerns. What I can speak to is what this president has done, right? I can speak to his experience. I can speak to the wisdom that he has. I can speak to his record. When it comes to how Americans, what they're saying about your particular question to me, that's for them to speak to. I can just stay on our message, the platform that we're trying to push forward, and that is delivering for the American people. We believe that we're doing that. You just heard the president talk about Bidenomics and how it's building a middle class, right, from the bottom up, middle out, and how because of the economic policies that we've seen some historic growth, right? The 3.5 million jobs, unemployment under 4%. All of these things matter, and making sure that inflation is being moderated, and that's what we've seen. So all of these things are important. I get the question, but in very early days of the negotiating process, Sperling has certainly played as a coordinator role from the White House. So look, they are not.
House have any optimism on the likelihood of that happening?
I think I said earlier I'm never optimistic about anything, which remains true in this context as well. But no, look.
We're worried about you, Jim.
Thank you. Although it's what Joyce said about Irish people, that they have an abiding sense of tragedy that sustains them through temporary periods of joy. That's my existence. Look, we don't.